Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. So as many of you guys know and girls, I have an Asus Tuf 17 gamer laptop, which I bought not quite a year ago now. And I still got 2 years of payments left. Oh, Lord help me. Anyways, I did my Windows update too, and it decided it wanted to do a lot more than just a blue screen of death because I didn't even get that fun to deal with. Because at least that would have been easy to solve. Safe mode, rip out the update, and away we go, and we're back to normal. We just don't do any updates until the full release comes out, right? Well, hey, I've never had problems before with even preview updates of any kind or whatever. And it's been fine all this time. So, and I did the updates, and at the time, when it finally rebooted and set itself up, it was up and running. Good, fine, let's go play some games, have a little bit of fun, shut it down. Next morning, I turn this thing on, I'm in Asus repair mode. And I'm like, what? What happened here? Like, it was running perfect last night when I shut it off. Well, I guess overnight it had a chance to do stuff, so maybe it was downloading something else that I didn't know about while I was playing games. I have no idea. But, anyways, so for me, it's not a blue screen of death. Okay? For me, it became much worse, right? And some of you may experience the same exact problem, and hopefully you're under warranty with your computer, because if you're not, well, probably be cheaper to buy a new computer, depending on what it is. But anyway, one way or another, it's going to cost you if you're not under a warranty. At least I am. I've got the main warranty through Asus, and then I've got an extended 2-year warranty right through MDG. So, and right now I'm using the Asus warranty. And with the Asus, by the way, you do get one idiot-proof repair that you cannot have to pay for. We talked about that on the phone because everything I tried, including their software that could individually test every component, says all my components are fine. And it said, okay, do you want to restart? We tested it, everything's fine, and it did I said, okay, do a repair then. And it said, okay, we fixed it. Now, do you want to just reinstall Windows clean, or do you want to just reboot to normal Windows normally? Let's just reboot. Of course, back in the loop we go. Back to the test program we go. And this time, I retested everything else, and it come out fine again. I said, okay, now this time do a clean install. Okay, I just want to wipe this out. And it said, okay, it's going to wipe it out. We'll download and install a whole new fresh copy of Windows for you. Set your computer back up, and you'll be fine. Okay, this is the software end. I have not called Asus yet. Well, it didn't get very far, and it failed. And I'm like, oh, jeepers. So, of course, I'm back in. I go into the BIOS. I'm like, maybe my drive went down. It can happen, right? No, it finds the Kingston drive, finds the Western Digital drive, but it didn't show the Kingston as being a bootable drive. Because even when I went to the boot manager menu, Kingston's not there, and it couldn't do anything with the Western Digital at this point because it's basically it's there but it's not there kind of thing, right? It says it's there in the BIOS and it's bootable, but it can't use it. And I'm like, oh, good grief! Now what? Oh. So, anyways, I call Asus, explain this to them. I said, look, the only thing I've done to this computer is when I first bought it, I upgraded it in the end to 64 gigs of RAM. I put in an Express 4 Kingston KC3000 drive that's rated for 7 by 6000. I put in an Express 3 in the other slot, which is my data drive only. Both are 1 terabyte, and it's a 35 by 35 read-write on the Western Digital, blah, blah, blah. It's been running fine for the last several months, not one issue. Okay, so I've even done Windows updates because they happen every 4 days after all, don't they, folks, right? It's like it's a never-ending thing. So I says everything's been great up until this Windows update that came out. And that's when the next morning I turn it on and my computer is basically telling me it's toast. And anyways, so we go through the whole process, and she lets me know that you do have one idiot move thing where if you screwed something up, you get one shot, one time only, where you can waive the fee for the repair, and because it's under warranty, and you're good to go. And I said, fine, whatever. I mean, it's nothing I did. I said, lady, I've been a technician for over 33 years. Not that that matters to you, and I know, but I am an Apple and PC tech. And people can make mistakes, I get it. But obviously, I did not make a mistake because it's been running fine for several months with my hardware. right? So, and the hardware, according to your software, tested every bit of my pieces I put in and then some, and says everything's fine when in fact it's not fine, right? And I've lost access to my Kingston drive as being a bootable drive, so that's telling me there's a slot issue. Something's happened here, okay? And this has only happened since this Windows update, right? It's just all of a sudden, right? Now, here's where I can confirm that it's actually, I believe it's a Windows issue, okay? Now, I had asked her, prior to doing the shipping, the RMA, and all this, I said, could we try one more thing? What about putting back your RAM in your drive? And that drive, by the way, is automatically in the Express 4 slot from Asus. And it doesn't matter what slot you use for a boot drive. I know this because I've tested that theory anyways. And either slot can be used for a boot drive. Anyhow, so she says, yeah, it might be a good idea. And besides, at least this way, if they replace your computer, you're not out your toys that you put in there because, yeah, you wouldn't be getting those back. So, yeah, definitely put the original stuff back in and try that, see what happens. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to start this process and we're going to go for it. Because either way, it's getting shipped out. So, and of course, to no avail, I put in their stuff and I put the 500 that they gave me with it from the factory, put it back in the Express 4 slot, and of course the BIOS finds it, but it's not bootable. And it's like, okay. All right, so off we go. It's been shipped out. They've had it since Saturday. They're probably not going to play with it till today, which is fine. I got 7 to 10 business days before I'll see it back. I don't know. They may send me a report or something and say, hey, this is the problem. It's going to cost you this, but just click the waiver button because, if the tech blames me, which he can't. I mean, if he's any good of a tech, he'll know he can't blame me because it's not my fault anyways. It's nothing to do with me or anything I did. So, whatever, either way, I get to waive the fee. I won't have to pay anything for this repair. So I'm okay with that. And they cover the shipping both ways, which is fantastic. So, in the meantime, I've tested everything out independently, and all my pieces are fine. In fact, when it tried to do that Windows install, it didn't even try the Kingston. Even though the Kingston was found, even by their software, independent from the BIOS, it still did not even go after the Kingston. It went after my Western Digital, which had all my data and all my other stuff on, which is fine. I got like 3 redundant backup systems on drives. I'm not worried. I lost nothing, okay? But that's when I found out it went after the Western Digital because at least it was listed as being bootable, even though for some reason it couldn't even put an OS on there. It failed, even with Asus system. So I have no idea what's going on. But anyways, so my drive is fine. My Kingston drive is untouched. There's nothing wrong with it. The data is all there too. Everything works perfect on the drive. Both drives have both been tested, software tested, right to the whip shoot. There's nothing wrong with my drives. There's nothing wrong with my RAM. So we're okay that way. So we know that. But the funny thing is that it's still got my OS and everything on that Kingston drive. All my games are there. All my other stuff's there, untouched. And it's like, so whatever happened with this Windows updates, it has turned, it's done something to both of my NVMe slots in there, both the Express 3 and the Express 4 slots, that they're just basically done, and it's like, yet when you test the drives with the software and they're in there, it says your drives are fine. So I don't know. It's got me on this one. There's definitely a hardware issue going on here. And I'm sure I'm not the only one experiencing hardware issues, but most people are only getting a blue screen of death that's been reported. A lot of people are getting just that, and it's an easy undo. You can go into Windows Safe Mode, which even I couldn't even get into safe mode even from the beginning. So, but if you got the blue screen of death, yeah. And it's not the first time I've seen blue screen of death on the PC over the years. I've seen this happen with Windows updates before. And it was just a matter of simply reformatting the drive, reinstall the OS, because that's how I would deal with it. Okay, I didn't want to tinker around with rip this out or rip that out, because you don't know which one is causing the issue, right? So it's kind of like simpler to just lunch it all and start over. And of course, don't do your Windows updates till maybe maybe a month down the line. Okay, then at least you could avoid that blue screen of death, because it was probably a Windows update that did it, right? because of course that's usually where it happens. But in this case, I didn't even get a blue screen of death. I didn't get that option. I just got a computer that just wouldn't even boot, automatically hits to a repair mode, and yeah, nothing's working. So there you go. And I kind of, it's funny when people ask me, like, why don't you just run a PC only? I mean, Mac this. And like, I prefer my Macs, to be honest with you. And the only reason I even own a PC is for gaming right now. Once Apple gets their act together with Apple Silicon and this AAA gaming they're going into, guess what? I'm going to just finish paying off my PC, and when it's paid off, I'm likely going to just sell it and forget PCs ever even existed, because then Mac will definitely be able to do all the gaming and then some. But Apple Silicon is not quite at that stage yet. I mean, they're getting there really good. I mean, they're doing better with M2s for gaming, and the M3s are supposed to be really good. So I'm hoping I can get my hands on an M3. Not that that's going to help me. I think it'll probably be by the time we get to like M4s, M5s, where Macs are going to be like the ultimate machine for everything, and PCs will just become a non-existent thing for many people. Because Windows has always been a headache. It's always been hassle, and besides, you don't even have security in a PC anyway. So that's a whole other video I should talk about, because you'll find that interesting. But it's also factually true. Okay. But right now I'm stuck with the PC, and I use it for gaming. The only time it goes on the internet is for updates for Windows, updates for my video card, that sort of thing. That's the only time it's online. Otherwise, it doesn't get used for surfing. It doesn't get used for anything else. It's just a gaming rig for me. That's it, right? My Mac, that's where I do my music production. I do my video stuff. It's all Mac for that, because gaming kind of really sucks right now. But, it will get better. I have an M1 system, so I'm hoping to get either a really nice high-end M2 next, or an M3 preferably, and I think I'll be happy with it, at least with what I want to use it for games and my other stuff. But in the meantime, that's my little story on what's happened to me. Let me know how you fared out if you have an Asus computer and did some updates, or whatever computer, and we'll just keep this thing up and see what's happening. When I get my computer back, I'll let you know if they told me what went wrong. But also let you know when I got it back and how things are running, because yeah, I'm going to make sure Windows is definitely up to date, and let's cross our fingers that it doesn't take it out a second time in a row, because Asus won't be amused, I'm sure. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.